Well, Minneapolis is known for its chain of lakes and, of course, the Minneapolis Sound, but the city is also the birthplace of one of the most popular candy bars in the world.
Yeah, in tonight's Maury's Stories, Maury Glover looks at the Minneapolis connection to the Milky Way.
In the universe of candy, the constellation of options seems as endless as the stars. But one candy bar created in Minneapolis is in a galaxy of its own.
The best candy on Earth comes from Mars, Milky Way.
For nearly a century, the Milky Way's combination of milk chocolate, caramel, and nougat has helped satisfy America's sweet tooth.
At work, rest or play, Milky Way, Milky Way.
But what was once the best-selling candy bar in the country had its humble beginnings right here in Minnesota.
I think that's a story that we really need to tell because it's part of the bigger picture that we really had quite a candy industry here.
Mars Incorporated founder Frank Mars was born to a pair of farmers in Hancock, Minnesota in 1883. He learned how to hand-dip chocolate after he contracted polio as a young boy and wasn't able to help out on the farm after school.
The story goes that then he would help his mother or watch her when she was making some different candies and cooking in the kitchen, and that got him kind of inspired to do some other adventures along the way.
After working as a molasses chip salesman in Wadena and a candy wholesaler in Tacoma, Washington, Mars and his second wife moved to Minneapolis in 1920. He started producing chocolate candy bars with whipped cream centers called the Morrow Bar out of a building on Washington Avenue in what is now the North Loop, which did well enough to give him a foothold in the industry. But it wasn't until his estranged son, Forrest, from his marriage to his first wife, called his dad to bail him out of jail after getting in trouble with the law in Chicago, that Mars would come up with the idea that would put his candy company on the map.
After he got bailed out, they were sitting, I guess, in a soda shop or something and having, the story is malted milkshakes, and they joked around and said, well, why don't you put this in a candy bar? And that gave him the idea when he came back to Minneapolis to do that.
Mars called his new creation the Milky Way, after the malted milkshakes that inspired it, not the star system as many people believe. When it was first introduced in 1923, the candy bar's sales were out of this world, making $800,000 in its first year, which would be about $11 million today.
It was under $1 million, but still, when you're talking the 20s, that was a lot of money. It's a lot of money today, but it was really a lot of money, so therefore we just claim it to be very successful.
Mars used some of that money to buy a home on West Minnehaha Parkway that was known by the kids in the neighborhood as the Milky Way house. Even though Mars only lived there for 3 years, his mother-in-law stayed in the home for nearly a decade after that.
The story from some of the children who are much older today, they loved going there for Halloween because they always called it the Milky Way house because they would get full-size candy bars, anything that Mars was putting out. That was the first place they had to go.
Under the Milky Way tonight.
In 1929, Mars moved his company to Chicago for better national distribution, where it would eventually become one of the largest candy makers in the world, adding other iconic items like Snickers, Three Musketeers, M&Ms, and Twix. But Frank Mars only got to enjoy his success for a few years before he died in 1934.
He was probably traveling out east, but he ended up dying in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins Hospital after a 10-day illness that he had, which was attributed to heart and kidney disease. So that was 1934. So not really, it was like 5 years after he had left Minneapolis.
Mars eventually came back to his Minnesota roots. He is buried in a mausoleum at Lakewood Cemetery in South Minneapolis, along with his second wife and son Forrest. In the meantime, the building in downtown Minneapolis, where the Mars candy empire got its start, has a plaque on the outside commemorating its special place in the city's history.
It's a great story, and I'm glad that you're telling it so that it gets out to the world and kind of puts us more on the map for other things besides wheat and grain, and it's something everyone can relate to, I think.
For Maury Stories, Maury Glover, Fox 9.
So think about that the next time you go to grab a Milky Way bar or any other Mars candy bar.
Yeah, we're not in the business of endorsements, but they are delicious. And they upped their game when they went to the Midnight Milky Way bar, because those
The dark chocolate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and if you put like a Snickers in the freezer.
So good.
So good.